Hey guys, what's going on? Dan Gheesling. Welcome to episode 32 of the Dan Gheesling Podcast. Super excited to dial in. It's been an interesting week. I want to share a lot about perspective and getting your perspective readjusted in this episode. But I want to thank you guys so much, first and foremost, for dialing in, whether you're watching from transit, school, running around, walking your dog, walking your mini pig, whatever it is. Thank you guys so much for spending this time with us here. I appreciate all the love. Before I recorded this episode, I hopped in the community Discord at dangheesling.com/Discord. Checked out the podcast room. I really heard some interesting stuff. There's a community member that owns a game shop, like an actual shop, where they sell trading cards and it's just cool, the stuff, you learn. And if you're not a part of the community Discord, I encourage you guys to check it out. But I actually asked that individual named Waddle. I said, hey, you got to post a picture of your store, and I don't even know where it is, but I'd love to show some love, and if you're in the same area, and just I don't know. That's what I think was one of the cool things about the community is people are into all sort of different things, and I don't know. You just never know who's in the community. Someone owns a game shop. Like if I was in that town or that city, I would 100% go out of my way to go visit. It's just cool. I'm into stuff like that. And we're gonna get into that a little bit more at the end of the show too, in terms of I've been really starting to reintroduce the mailing list and things of that nature. Anyways. The main story I want to tell you guys today, because this is a journal episode. This past week, we have shows on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every single week. And I knew this week we were not going to have a Friday show. So I reached out to Zane, the editor, said, hey, I know I'm not going to be here for a fact on Friday. And so let's put together a special show, because I'm big on, hey, if there's a show, there's going to be a show. Even if I'm not there, there's still going to be a show. So through some ideas to Zane, the editor, he took the ball and ran with it, put together a show, some clips. I recorded a few intro and outro videos, like special ones. I got them to him too late because I recorded them from the road. But, on the whole, it was a positive experience. I had a chance to kind of skip away for a minute and check in. And I popped into the show live, say hello to everyone, on the Twitch chat. So I was super excited about it. And I was excited because, if there's a show, there's a show. And to me, you always got to find a way to keep dialing and find a way to, I just wanted people who are used to being there on Friday, to go there and be like, yo, there's no show today. Even though it was a VOD show, I still think it was a valuable thing for, to be able to have people to still hang out there that, yeah, sure, it's not, live, and it's not the typical show, but it's still, it's still the same community feel. So that's an experiment that we tried, and I'm definitely open to doing that more even on off days. So that's something maybe to look for in the future. But anyways, put some perspective on everything. I knew I was going out of town on relatively short notice to go see a family member who is sick. And I don't want to talk about this in great detail, but just to give you some perspective. And it's not a woe is me thing or anything like that, but just to give you some perspective. I can't remember, I had to have been really little, if that, the last time I went to like a senior home or a nursing home. And so that's kind of the situation with a family member. They're in bed, and realistically speaking, they're not going to get out of bed. And I haven't seen anyone like that really, ever, or in a long time, where it's like, usually when you see someone like that, it's like close being over. But anyways, trying to keep this as positive as possible. So, I was super happy. Excited is not the right. Super happy I had a chance to spend time with that, my family member who, realistically, that's, maybe the last time I see them. And, so I was really happy that I went, although it's, it's a sad situation, but the perspective I got on it is that here's someone that's near and dear to me, and here's someone that, is not going to get out of bed, just not going to happen. And so, like, I started to think, like, what would that person give to be able to walk around and get out of bed and do that kind of stuff again? And really, there's no answer to it. It's probably anything. And, without getting super somber, it made me, outside of being, I keep want to say excited. Excited is not the right word. Happy that I had a chance to have some, intimate final conversation with this individual, but more so like affecting moving forward, really taking advantage of everything now, right? You know, you're not always going to be necessarily healthy. You're not always, things are going to be going the right way. There's going to be issues. And so while things are well, you want to do that. And it kind of, you know, I talk about my schedule and how things are crazy, and they are crazy, but you know, it's through my, you know, you make your own bed, so you sleep in it. But there's got to be, for me, there's ways where I'm like, okay, I need to reorganize my priorities so I'm not wasting literally a second or minute of every day, because you just don't know. Stuff flies by so quickly. So, you know, it's kind of made me not want to take things so serious, right? So like, you know, this past week, we had a really aggressive content schedule for, you know, social media posts. And if I missed a post, which, you know, I was traveling, some balls got dropped on my end. You know, Zane and Tyler did a great job creating a bunch of content for me to post on different platforms. But, you know, I take that stuff really serious and really to heart. If I miss it, I'm like, yo, I said I'm going to do something, I didn't do it. Like, it's, you know, it is what it is. There's no excuses. But, you know, having this, you know, I wouldn't call it a new perspective, but a different perspective is now like, is just not taking things so serious. But at the same time, the weird dichotomy of is, it makes me want to even work harder and be more persistent and dial in even more, but in a smarter fashion, right? So it's a really complex thing to get into, but I just wanted to document this and share it with you, is that if you ever need some perspective, whether you know, have a family member or no one, go to a senior home. Like, that's the fastest way to get real perspective on your life immediately. And I hate to even bring it up and be like, you know, how do you make it about you? Because that's not really the point of it, is right. The point of it was, I was going to go spend some time with someone who I knew doesn't have much time. But what you walk away with is just, you know, just being internally grateful for everything you have and not wanting to waste, you know, a single minute of anything. And so I didn't want this to become a trip where it's like, okay, hey, you feel this way now, and then, you know, Monday comes along and you're back in the hustle and bustle of everything, and then now what? You know what I mean? Like, you totally don't take away what you're supposed to take away from, or what you know is important from that. So that's something I'm definitely going to be focused on. I don't know what that means. I just wanted to document and share it with you, because, you know, sometimes, you know, you may think everything's, you know, falling apart, or things, you know, are terrible or bad. And then it's just, the second you get perspective, not that I think that way or anything like that, but all of a sudden, like a missed post, or if something doesn't go to plan, it's not that big a deal when you have some perspective. And I feel like being able to take that and translate it to you listening, you know, is a deal. And there's a lot, I don't know, I just had never experienced anything like that. And, you know, I was fortunate to see my family member there, but there were others, you know, seniors there that were by themselves. And it's kind of like one of those things where, you know, if you need perspective, go. And at the same time, there's going to be some good that comes from it by you spending, you know, time. Yeah, maybe a random stranger, but I know they'll appreciate it. And you know, the same for you. But anyways, I just felt like I said, I want to wrap this part up, but I just felt like it was so important. I don't know if I explained it properly, but it had a extreme impact on me. And I wanted to share that with you, because, you know, anytime, like, it's an audio, you know, when it's not a non-interview episode, it's an audio journal. And if I pick something up along the way that I think is going to be extremely helpful, or, you know, has a chance to make your life better, easier, or whatever, I'm going to do that. So outside of that, another thing I'm going to take away is, you know, one of the things that carry my work around with me a lot, meaning like internally. So one of the things I'm focusing on now is when I'm off, I'm off. So when I'm home, like I'm home, I'm not thinking about, hey, what's the upload schedule like? Did I post this? Did I post that? Whatever's done is done. So that means I have to be extremely even more efficient when I'm at the office or at the studio, you know, making sure I set up everything of utmost importance that's set, so I can allow myself to do that. And you know, I'd say be a little bit more present. So that's a takeaway on a different level. But outside of that, you know, I really appreciated Zane taking control while I was gone, and I trusted him to do that and make sure that the VOD went well. Typically, I'll review something like that, but, you know, it's at the point now where Zane, you know, I don't know how long he's been working on the team, but, you know, you just kind of have trust, and I'm like that way with Ty now. Ty did a mini episode that I briefed, but I didn't, you know, go through with a fine tooth comb, and it's been, you know, I think it's good, and I appreciate those guys kind of working. So I know where it's like, hey, if I step away for you know, a day, that things are going to keep moving. So outside of that, to get into some more gaming stuff, I had a chance to check out Sekiro as a Twitch bounty. Sekiro is the new From Software, the new Souls-esque game, and a lot of people, there's a lot of different opinions on it. A lot of people said, hey, Dan, you're going to like it because it's a Souls game. Some people are going to say, Dan, you don't like it because it represents a quicker action Souls game where we're more, bang for our buck. The Twitch bounty popped up. A Twitch bounty is a sponsored hour on your Twitch show to play Sekiro. And to me, that's like the dream scenario, right? It's like, it's a sponsored hour of a game you're going to play, and a game that, you think you're going to like, or 99% chance you're going to play it. So, it made sense. And I played it. I really liked it. It's extremely different from the Dark Souls experiences that we've had, but it's definitely going to be played on the show at some point. And it kind of plays into the Zig and Zag theory where, so everyone and their brother and sister are playing Sekiro on Twitch, and I'm happy for them, and it's a no judgment zone. That, to me, that's something that I've found historically for me does not work well for the channel in terms of growth, in terms of things like that. So it's the Zig and Zag theory. Everyone's playing that. I'll play that after everyone's played it. And I think it provides a couple unique opportunities. One, I think it gives people a chance to play the game for their own. So maybe people who would like to tune in but don't want to be spoiled, that now allows those people to tune in. There's also the element of the show where people, help front seat or help guide us along. It gives people to play the game, and then also gives those individuals, those members of the community, an opportunity to play the game and then come back. And then when I play it, share what works and what doesn't, and things like that. And so, I'm big into that. And when I was writing the show notes on what I wanted to talk about, really, I'm happy with that strategy, or with that approach to what I do. But there's been a few times, really one time that comes to mind when it wasn't a Zig and Zag theory. You can be like, when I say Zig and Zag, means everyone's doing one thing, you do the opposite. So when a new game is released, everyone plays it, blah, blah, blah. You don't play it. You do play it at another time, or you find something that's not being played. And really the only time that I've done that, when I played a new game when it came out and it went really well, it was because it was a game that no one really played, but I guess maybe no one thought to do content for. And that was Fallout Shelter, which is a mobile game way back, I don't know, a couple, 2 or 3 years ago. I did a random first look at it on the YouTube channel, and it went over well. I think because I literally did. They announced it. It was at a pre-E3 show conference. They announced it. I downloaded it, recorded it, and put it up the next morning. And it had a disproportionate amount of views than it normally, at the time the channel had. So I feel like that's the caveat, because nothing works all the time. There's not 100% things work all the time. You got to keep, for me, the way I approach it, you got to keep testing and trying different things. And so that was an example of it working. And, there's times when it doesn't work, but that's why, I say a Zig and Zag theory, but there'll be times when I'll be the first to the punch and try something. So that's something interesting. Another thing I'm starting to mess with a little bit is YouTube titles. And it's like another example of Zig and Zag theory is that what you're going to see on YouTube. You're going to see people with super shocked faces, big, bold titles, and things like that. So ironically enough, I think I talked about it last week, but with the Tetris series, I put in a lowercase title. It had the most amount of views. I don't know. I don't know why it's such a, it's not a crapshoot, but it's such a unique thing. What's going on the internet and creating content is you just don't know it works, and you keep trying and sampling. And I feel like that's what we continue to do. And there'll never be, for me, one way of one thing working all the time. But it's the process of doing it that makes it fun to see when something completely out of bounds works. Not completely out of bounds, but something out of left field works. But it almost plays into the Zig and Zag theory. Outside of that, I'm planning on there's plans to do a MLB The Show bounty on the Monday show. MLB The Show is essentially, it's like a little bit of NCAA. It's a baseball game, which I'm not a huge baseball fan, but what the show does, so it'll be a sponsored hour on Twitch. What the show does is they cut out, I'm just going to say it how it is, all the boring parts of baseball, all the boring parts of playing a baseball video game. And to my understanding, all you do is you go at bat and you only play the parts of baseball are the parts when you're in the field when the ball comes to you. And it's like, all right, I'm excited to try out an abbreviated version of baseball because it's going to be a lot of fun. It cuts out the boring part. So I'm excited to do that on Monday. Another thing I'm planning on doing on the Monday show, if I get permission, Escape from Tarkov, talking about Zig and Zag theory. They did something kind of a little bit out there. They did a live actual, the makers of Escape from Tarkov did like a 10 to 15 minute live action episode about Tarkov. And I watched like a minute of it. I'm like, yo, this is pretty cool. It's a little bit different, but I don't want to spoil it. So I reached out to them to see if I have permission to share that on the show on Monday. I want to watch it live with the community. I think it's definitely a little bit gory and things like that, but it was cool to see like, hey, I know, what that is. That's a scav. It looks like a scav. I know what that gun is with attachments on it because it's all stuff from the game. So for them, I think it was pretty cool, a little bit outside the box to do something like that. You don't see that from a lot of games in development, if any finished games at all. So I think that was, another Zig and Zag theory where they're doing something outside the box. I think it went over pretty well. Of course, you had the individuals like, hey, why are they wasting money, quote unquote, wasting money, shooting a live action as opposed to not finishing the game. But I see it the other way. I think they're doing something creative. It got a lot more eyeballs in the game. And it's something I want to watch, whether, hopefully I can watch it with the, on the Twitch show. If not, I'll watch it, not on the Twitch show, just by myself when I get some time. But I'm excited to do that. Something a little bit different for the show. And I'm just generally have an air of excitement to get back to the community, not having a Friday show. You get in this rhythm, right? And so when you don't have a Friday show, things are a little bit different. It feels like I haven't done a show in a while. And I'm just excited to get back on the Monday show. Another focus of this week is just focusing on being more efficient. I talked about the reasons why, but in particular, how we're going to do that. Moving forward with the podcast, the goal is to have 2 interviews on the show per month. So 2 of the 4 main episodes be interviews. So focusing on scheduling those out, knocking those out back to back instead of, 2 Thursdays in a row. And I want to schedule the interviews on, say one at 12 o'clock on Thursday and one at, 1 o'clock on Thursday. So just bang them out back to back and, tweak the social posts, focus. This past week, I had a really aggressive content schedule. Hey, you're going to post this on Instagram story, Twitter, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like with the week of travel, that definitely fell by the wayside. And one of the things that drives me nuts is when I tell someone to do something and I don't do it. And in particular with Ty and Zane, they did a great job creating the content for the week and I didn't post it. So that's just something that gets me. I'm going to focus on that a little bit more. The other main focus of the week, and I've started to talk about it more both on the podcast and live stream, is the mailing list. So I have a mailing list through a mailing list service for the community that it allows people in the community to insert their name, their real name, their Twitch name, their YouTube name, address, phone number, and email address. And a lot of people are, given the meme nature of how we do things, they're saying, hey, Dan, you're going to dox us or social engineer us or et cetera, et cetera. And people are like, why are you asking for this? Well, number one reason I'm doing that is, there's a couple reasons. I wouldn't say any of them is number one, but number one is to stay in contact, right? So I want to find a way to provide value to the people in the community that read email, that, I could put, I don't want to spoil things, but I'm going to spoil it. I put a couple game codes in the email that people want to check out, where they get free games for that, or give a little bit more behind the scenes perspective for people on the email list. But in addition to that, for the people that have a level of comfort, I also want to surprise some people. I don't want to say things I'm going to do to surprise people. I just want to do it, and then I'll come back and tell you about it. So if I have someone's telephone number or their address or whatever, say for example, so I was out west. If I had that filled out from everyone in the community, if there was someone who lived in the area, I would do something to surprise them. It's just, so those are things I'm focusing on. The only way I can do that, though, is to have that information on that list. And the other thing in the back of my head, and I think there's an extremely, extremely minute detail of it, but what if Twitch goes away, right? How am I gonna contact individuals in the community? I just can't. Like, if Twitch goes away, there's certain people that, hey, I'll never get a chance to contact them or whatever, keep them updated or anything like that. So that's something I think is something I'm always aware of not being behooven. I don't know if that's the right word, to any one platform, whether it's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, anything. And so when by having an email list, it essentially allows me to stay in contact with the community no matter what happens, because things are going to change. 5 years from now, maybe Twitch is different and maybe there's Twitch 2.0. I don't know. But the point is, then I don't have to be concerned about it. Just I'm able to move and keep people updated in that way. And I think it's just good practice as well to be spread across as many platforms as possible, so that in the event that one goes away, it doesn't decimate all your years of hard work and community building. So the only other thing I want to talk about today and want to share with you guys is with a quick update on Team Unity. Team Unity, we stream every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's myself, Northern Lion, Last Gray Wolf, and Michael A.L. Fox. And I feel like we bottled something special when we played PUBG and really had a great job. We had a lot of fun, put on great shows, just playing PUBG together. And I feel like we bottled that up. We just finished up playing Minecraft. No one thought Minecraft would be as fun as it was and how it developed. But I think we kind of bottled that lightning twice, and it took a long time to kind of find that second game. And now that Minecraft is over, we're in this unique spot where, okay, we tried another game called Satisfactory. It was okay. I mean, but I feel like anytime you're coming off something great, let's call the Minecraft series is great. No matter what you play, it's probably not going to, even if it's great, it's not going to have the same feel. So now we're kind of as a group in a position trying to find the next great game that works for everyone. And it's one of the fun challenges about being a creator is you got to find a game that works both for the audience and the community that enjoys watching, and also work for you as content creators, because it's a fun challenge, and I look forward to it. And it's one of those things you don't know what it is until you do it. You can theorize and plan this, oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. And you get there and it's like, it's not that fun. Or, oh, we had a lot of fun, but the community didn't like it. Or the community really liked it and we didn't have fun. It's one of those things. So a lot of challenges that I'm looking forward to this upcoming week. But I want to thank you guys so much for dialing in. Thank you guys for all the love. I appreciate you guys supporting the show. That was one of the crazy things that happened. There's a lot of love on the Friday VOD show, which, I want to thank those individuals that did that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you did, and you haven't rated it yet on iTunes, please do that. Yeah, it means a lot. You don't have to drop a 5-star unless you feel it's a 5-star, but just any sort of review helps the reach of the show. So I truly appreciate you guys doing that. With that being said, I will see you guys next Monday, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the next podcast. And I hope you guys enjoy the mini episode this week. Have a great one, and I'll see you guys next week. Later.